Hello, welcome to the Sovereign Magazine Show, a show that is a transformational experience where conscious conversations meet embodied wisdom. Each episode invites visionary healers, thought leaders, and change makers to share their journey of awakening, offering listeners practical tools and soul-stirring insights to reclaim their inner authority. I'm Nicole George, the host of the show, and today we have Efrat Shokep, excuse me, here to talk about what is spiritually aware parenting. I'm going to allow her to introduce herself, but I am deeply excited that she is here today.
Hi, Nicole. This is so exciting, and I love everything that you're doing with your magazine and the growing community. So I guess this is also an invitation for everyone to join us there. I'm Efrat Shokef. I'm my first defining piece is my red hair, I guess, and and I'm a mother to three spiritually aware teens, and we'll talk about what spiritually aware teens, children, parents, families mean in a few minutes. I'm an author of two award-winning books: The Promise We Made, Three Universal Soul Promises We Made to Our Children, and Universal Promises, Foundations for Creating the Conditions Our Children Need to Thrive in Times of Transformation. And our whole show is going to return to that I think shared hope, heart wish that we all want for our children to thrive, to be happy. But we have no idea what are we preparing them for in the future. So this will weave in our conversations. I'm a shamanic energy healing practitioner working with children, parents, families, both one-on-one in courses. There's a lot of information on my website by my name, serving spiritually aware families, those families that are either blessed to walk with children that come to us with an expanded consciousness or wishing to weave beyond religion, spirituality. Yeah, that's in a nutshell who I am.
And I just feel so blessed to know you because I didn't have a name for how I parent, or not just me and my husband, how we parent our daughter, who is a very spiritually aware child. And now I do have a name for being a spiritually aware parent, which I didn't know had a name. So why don't you define that for us and for anyone who's listening today?
So let me take us a step back. I think many parents today are conscious in various forms that that their parenting has a meaning, that it's not just about the doing and the raising children and feeding many children or making sure they get education and then hoping they will take some of them will take care of us as we get old, and that cycle will continue and go on and on and on. There are many historical reasons, I think, for why parents are more conscious. It's the times we live in, it's the change of family structure. It differs in various places in the world, but we are becoming more conscious. And with that consciousness and awareness, we're aware we can make choices, that the way we were raised does not mean necessarily that this is how we have to raise our children, although we do, all of us come with a baggage of limiting beliefs and all kinds of energetics binding us, and sending us as an arrow to do exactly what we grew up on and what has been imprinted in our energetic field. But that can be unwoven. That does not have to, and there are many modalities to work with those themes. But we come with questions, and we come with choices, and we try in various ways to bring intentionality. Now, this under this umbrella of intentional parenting, which is like a title, or conscious parenting, which is another umbrella title. We have so many approaches, like simplifying, or or uh, or becoming more gentle in the guidance we give. And as we look at all of these intentional parenting approaches, and I didn't want to give another label as I was doing my work and getting my downloads and understanding what I'm doing. I wasn't looking for another label because there's so many of it. There's another piece, there's another angle of adding soul-led approaches, in spirituality, beyond religion. This is really important, beyond religion, that can be woven with religion, but is beyond religion, spirituality, into how we parent. And spiritually aware parenting as a in terms of that structure is part of being conscious. It's part of being intentional. It's not something that replaces that. It just, we're becoming conscious and intentional in another or additional direction. We're not just conscious of what our child is asking for us, what is activating us, how we want to raise them, and so forth, what's important to us as a family or as a community, and what we want to do. We also become aware of additional aspects, and these aspects are ideas that come from spirituality. And maybe I would jump back to my own story, because this is where it starts for me. When my now teens turning young adults, beautiful daughters, I'm so grateful for them as teachers, were babies. My first was a little over 3, and my twins were just 13 months old. I was involved in a car crash and experienced a near-death experience. Near-death experiences are an invitation. It's suddenly remembering, for me, this is what it was, and I know it's the same for many others who experience not just near-death experience, but various spiritual transformative experiences. It's an opening to the more that we are. So I was remembering that I'm loved, that my cells are loved, and this is something that I just talk about my NDA. It's like I feel it. I was realizing I'm on a journey, and I'm returning. There were reasons for my return. There were reasons why I didn't die in that car crash. And part of those reasons were being a mom to my daughters. That was the one motivation for me to heal. But as I was integrating everything, and the integration was not an easy process, I was realizing, if I'm loved, what does that mean for everybody else, including my daughters? We're all made of love. That's not something unique to me or you, or to people choosing a spiritual path. That's also unique for many very confused humans. We're all love, and we're all on a journey. And when those understanding clicked for me, or I started to click, there were a lot of clicks on the way, but it's what does it mean to raise children that are actually really evolved souls and advanced beings on a journey? And that took me to a whole process. I'm sharing this journey in my books, of understanding that there is an angle, there is a perspective of becoming spiritually aware parents. So one piece is that view of our children as being equal to us in the shared journey. Yes, they chose us as their parents. And I think we have that in one of the coming episodes, that discussion of that choice. They chose us as their parents. They hoped for us, and they trusted our potential, not the confused us, the confused humans, but they chose us to be their human guide. So we are to be their human guide in really confusing times, because we have no idea what we're guiding them towards. We have no idea what's going to happen tomorrow. We can guide them to be in the now. And it's a shared journey of growing together. And that shift of mindset is transformative for so many parents. Another piece was I was embracing and expanding into my own luminosity, my ability to be a seer, to travel through dimensions, weaving all kinds of spiritual tools. Now, that's true to so many parents. You don't have to have a near-death experience for that. You just need to be consciously choosing to expand and raise your frequency. There's so many tools, so many modalities, but it's still not the common language of parenting and families. So that's another angle of spiritually aware parenting. It's just the shared journey was the first one, and the second, those weaving of beyond religion tools. And what I find in my work is that some parents bring it because they enjoy meditation, because they enjoy nature walks, because they choose to consciously be watchful of what they eat and eat only high frequency foods that nourish their body. There's so many choices, and some families do them all, and some families do just a few. That's one way of bringing it in, or changing their mindset because they're all open to the shared journey. And then there are many, many families that have a child being born that is with an expanded consciousness. They show wisdom that we don't expect. They have an understanding that we do not carry and we won't because they're more evolved than us. Um, they have this kindness and compassion and love expressed in so many little beautiful moments that we are left in wonder and awe and inspiration and invitation for us to imitate them, not to be their guide of do what we confused people do, but to adjust ourselves, align. It's like they come with a certain frequency, and our role as parents is to adjust to them, not to pull them down by this is how things work, but to do what we need to do to set on a journey and walk into that. So I actually weaved in two pieces right now. One piece is that the children that are born today to many, many families are a very clear invitation of expansion, that we need to expand. So there are spiritually aware children inviting us to become a spiritually aware family, because otherwise we are dimming their light. And I lost my thread of thought. And yeah,
That's okay. That's okay. I have so many things I want to say. So,
we'll come back if it needs to.
I grew up in what we can call a traditional household. Children are seen and not heard, and do as I say, not as I do, and those types of traditional things. I was not allowed to potentially think for myself or speak for myself. That's how I grew up. And so I wanted to share that because I think that there will be people out there who will say, like, how would I shift with all this baggage to becoming a spiritually aware parent? And I wanted to say, for me personally, I didn't know that's what I was becoming. I just knew I wanted to parent differently than I was parented. And so it took one step at a time, one choice at a time. But as you mentioned, my daughter was my guide. She was different from day one of being pregnant with her. I'll just give a little example. So I had preterm labor twice with her, once at 18 weeks, and we thought we were going to lose her, and once at 28 weeks. And I had to go on bed rest. And then we had to serve her an eviction notice at 42 weeks. So she was clearly on her own path and timing and wanting to keep me on my toes, which she always does. However, it is one of those things where I have found that parenting from a spiritually aware space is so different than what I imagined. I listen more than I speak. I integrate more than I give advice, right? I integrate her energy more than I actually am advising her, because she often comes up with the answers on her own. She just needs to process with me. And so, for those parents who are like, I have all this baggage, I have all this quote unquote traditional parenting, and this sounds fascinating to me, where do they start to unlearn or exemplify more spiritually aware parenting techniques? Like, where is the beginning for them, or how do you encourage them to start to harness that within them?
Depending on the starting point. So if you already have tools that you used and you got into this hectic full parenting life, find the tools that worked for you before and remember them. Trust your kids. They're going to lead the way. It doesn't mean that there are no boundaries. It doesn't mean that we don't need to guide them about proper behavior, guide them into right nutrition. There are many pieces of mutual guidance, but it is not one way, it is two way. And as we listen to them, truly listen, then they will always know what is best and what is invitation. And they usually have this really amazing wisdom of inviting us when we're almost ready. They wait, they wait. They wouldn't give an invitation that one is completely not ready for. Um, what we really need to remember is that there is an energetic communication going on between us and our children. So if I am just even becoming aware that I have a different child, or that my child is bringing me an invitation, and it's important to say that spiritually aware children can be introverted, extroverted. They're all kinds of way. I'm the more I meet them in my practice, the more I'm backing away from labeling, because it's a very, very broad perspective there. And I think there are more and more of them. Um, they here are energetics. So if I'm consciously even becoming aware that I want to change something and unweave something. So first awareness is the first step in unweaving anything. Before we can do anything, it's always valuable. And our kids get that communication. In my books, I'm referring to a model of 9 universal promises all parents made to their kids before they chose to come to them as soul promises that lead us through a journey of becoming co-creators of our reality, or personal reality, or our reality as humanity. But the bottom line is it's about fulfilling our journey. And one of the promises talks about, I call it the motion of love. It's that promise that we will do our best. Now, some parents come with a lot of wounding, their own wounding, collective wounding, family wounding, and their journey of healing will naturally be longer because it takes time. It's like a lot of things can be healed really, really, really fast. It's like it's miraculous what the times we're living in allow the shedding, quick shedding, transformative moments, but it still takes time to integrate, to bring it into our new behaviors, to shift things. Sometimes we are in transformation and our partner is not. And that doesn't mean that's wrong. Sometimes we need only one parent to go through transformation and not two of them at once. So no judgment, just taking it one moment at a time. And I like to refer to it as soul moments, those aligned moments when we know we're doing something which is aligned to the situation, to our truths. But as we notice those soul moments of aligned moments, we mostly notice the unaligned moments. And that's where my recommendation is really to start. Just asking, is what I'm doing now aligned to my truth or not? So the literal things, we have a message popping on our phone. Are we going to look at our phone while we're reading a book, or while we're talking to our kid, or while we're preparing dinner, or getting something done so we will have the time that we want later on, or will we ignore it? There are situations when we do need to look at the phone, and looking at our phone at the message is a precise aligned decision, soul moment. And there are a lot of moments that it's not, that we could have ignored it. That extra bite, we have a meal in front of us, and do we take that extra bite or we don't take that extra bite? It's really tasty, but it might not be the aligned moment. So I'm giving the like really literal, simple examples. Mm-hmm. As we become aware of our wish to be aligned or not aligned, we notice what's going on, and that's where we start to change. And when we even just bring our attention to all those unaligned moments, that a lot of them are structured by how society told us that you raise children, how society expects a perfect mother to be, how a house needs to look, all those pieces, also cultural dependent, but still we all have those pieces in our field, embedded deeply in our field. So in our field, energetically, they start to unweave, like in yarn, like if a tangle of yarn, there's a breath in coming into them. And our kids get the confirmation, the energetic communication. Okay, so I'm trying to figure it out. You stay as you are. You stay aligned to your truth. You stay attentive to your truth. You do what you need to do in our communication. And this energetic communication, it amazes me how powerful it is. So it depends where you start as a parent. But remember that it's about being on a journey. It's not about being perfect, and it's about being aligned at this moment in this day. So try to collect those soul moments, those aligned moments, and know that it starts not by seeing the aligned moments, it starts by us seeing the underlying moments. But if we won't see them and agree to see and know and heal everything that needs to be seen and known and healed, we won't be able to change anything. Um, and then there are many modalities and many amazing practitioners that work with parents, focused on parents or generally to unweave the heavy stuff. And again, we are in really special times that allow fast and quick shedding of old stories. And then we can show up.
Yeah. And I'd love to add two things to that. Hopefully, I can remember the second one. Sometimes I forget if I start on the first one. But the first thing I want to say is I remember the distinct moment when I told my husband, we're not going to spank, because both of us were spanked as children, patted on the butt, threatened with belts for sure. I don't think I ever received a belt, but I'm pretty sure my husband did. And I said, we're not going to do that here. And so it was a pivotal moment, I think, in us claiming how we were going to parent by our intuitive knowing or doing the truth check-in or you were calling them soul moments.
Soul
It's the
moments.
same type of thing is knowing in that moment when we were having a difficult time with our little tiny toddler and she was so spirited and telling us no. And I was like, we're not, that's just not, it does not feel right in my body to do that to her.
You were
And
you were claiming your power. You were
yes.
claiming your it's like what you're describing is a moment. It's more than a soul moment of being aligned to your truth. You are claiming your power of knowing how a soul within a human body wishes to walk and knows that it's possible to walk and manage those confusing situations, challenging situations with kindness, with love, and not with all those methods that worked in the past, but they're old paradigm. They're not relevant for our now. So
And
that's an
this,
amazing
which
story.
thank you, which leads beautifully to my second point, and that is we have never, I wouldn't say never because there's never absolutes like that. We have often encouraged our daughter to feel empowered to intuitively know what is right for her instead of us telling her what is right for her. And so I'll often ask her instead of like if she comes to me with a question, I turn it around and I'll say, well, what do you intuitively think? Right. And so it gives this opportunity for dialogue. And I'm being called, she's probably going to be embarrassed, but I'm being called to read my birthday letter. What my birthday was just a few days ago. We're 1 week apart. And I want to read it just so you can understand where she's coming from. She calls me Mumsy. Happy birthday, Mumsy. I'm so glad you got to see and help me grow this year. I've become the best person I can be because of your kindness, patience, support, and love. Don't worry, there's much more. You're the type of mom that I would never share. Not that I share anyway. No one else deserves their breakfast made and the amount of love you give me. They don't challenge your thoughts the way I do, and obviously could never match my overall greatness. I hope today shows you that we're both growing together, whether I'm 13 and you're 46, or I'm 20 and you're 70 something. That is hilarious right there because I won't be 70 when she's 20. I'm so glad you're my mom, and I'm so grateful for everything you do for me and for daddy. No one else has the mom I do. You do so many things for me, and it makes me so happy. I get the love I do. I've turned into such a good kid because of it. Lastly, thank you for birthing me. You'd be missing out if you didn't. And that's what it's all about. Right there, you can hear the confidence in her voice. She's not only grateful for me, but she's grateful for herself.
Yes. Yes. Amazing. Amazing. And I had a small communication with her indirectly, so I've had the experience to feel her wisdom. It's amazing what spiritually aware children and teens can offer us as a reflection as a shared dance, and in illuminating our past in the high frequencies that they offer when we are open to just hold space for them as they are, and trust the wisdom that they bring, and they all know. I would say we all know as well. We have the intuition, but we were told not to trust it, not to listen to it. And the kids we walk by today, more and more of them do know, do know. And if they're confused, there are ways to help them know again. So it's an amazing journey. And then
Yes,
what a
it
beautiful
is.
card.
It is. It is. Well, I would love to leave our viewers today with a parting question that they can ponder on because I know as a parent, we're always worried about mistakes. And so, where can somebody who feels like they've maybe made some mistakes or they might have messed up their parenting and they want to start fresh, where can they do one baby small step today to begin their spiritually aware parenting journey?
If you're a mind person, choose one question to walk with. Just question something you're doing, something you've always done. Maybe you'll decide you want to continue doing it, but that would be a conscious choice. And if you're more in your heart and energy, just play with your energy field and trust that as you play with your energy field and sense it, something is going to shift.
Yes. Okay. Well, here's the exciting news. Efrat's going to be back for some more. We have a whole year-long series together, and our next one is Spiritually Aware Children. Who are they? So definitely like, share, and subscribe so that you can receive the notifications for all of her shows. All the details for how to connect with Efrat are in our show notes below. And she's also in our community, community.sovereign-magazine.com if you want to talk to her directly. Definitely reach out and get her books as well. She's absolutely amazing, and you will see her on our next show. Thank you so much for being here today.
Thank you, Nicole.